25, right? Coffee. Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Have you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is Inyan Tisha B'Av that we're going to talk about now. Bir Masha Nagula Haka Velos B'Tisha B'Av Le'esa Mincha. This seems to be a point they want to say here. Masha Nagul B'Yom Tisha B'Av B'Mincha Lomer Pesukim Shal Nechomos Gam L'Kum L'Sheves Ala Sapsalim L'Lamala L'Lamala Ad Rabba Nira Rabin Talmud. So what we should know, but Talmud Babli. Kila Eis Erev Hitzitzu Eish Behechel. This is when the burning really got going. Biyom Tisha B'Av B'Nisras B'Eis Mincha, and the really burning took place at that time. So let's look over here and let's see the light print. And in the, one second, and in this light print, it says, Haminhog hu shebetesha b'av mechatzas yom v'elef mekilin bekam b'manhagi ravelos v'gon shegavor b'yoshem l'sapsel gedarkam v'chein oimrin b'sukim nechoma k'nevrik v'nasa b'sukim she'oimrin b'tfilas nachem, for example, that. V'l'chayr b'chu temua. But I said that's a problem, he says, just saying it out again. The abarach mechatzos yom v'elef choyu lana l'harbos yosef v'ravelos. It's a time, most strict time in the Vela should be. Shechein Zaman Sreifes Beis Mikdash Choseh B'Tesha B'Av Mechatzos Yom Ve'elach Kamo She'amar Chazal Tishoy Samach L'Chashecha Tzitzo Bo Esa Or V'Hoy Doilek V'Holech Kol Yom Kulish Ne'ema Oy Lonu Ki Panach Hayom Ki Yinad L'Tzlale Erev. So he means, it says, I looked at the word, this pasuk, the Art Scroll says it's stretched out. So it means the beginning of the lengthening of towards dark. I guess the diminution of shade or darkness. Let's look at number Aleph down below, and let me see if I can get this up there fine. It says Inyan Tisha B'Av. Now he has a whole bunch of different things, some of them which I'm not so familiar with, but let's see. Inyan Tisha B'Av. He said, "Lakato kam kamam in yoni tesha b'av b'sefer pri eitz chaim," and because of Reed Semach. He said the Reed Semach said this in the name of Sipar. Excuse me. He said to me, Sipar li hachacham hari Cohen. So he says the Reed Cohen told him, Mishem Rav Zal the Marchel. Shelo choya chachme osa chador menichim osa lomer b'tesha b'av osa kina, particular kina, shekasuva echa chashka or chalavona. How is it that the light of the moon became dark? The moon is Shechina, I guess. Shebara b'soda Torah, because in that is the secret of the Torah. Hayesh motzi ora. So is there such a thing that could bring out the light of something like that? Mihu zeh asher hador yogin b'shvilim, and who is that we have with the door itself, the generation itself, would be a protection for him. Now, what does that mean? I'm not sure. But here it goes, a different one. It calls him on, so he says the continuation of that thought is, because I think the thought seems to be about the concept of that for real light, like the light of the Ari, for example, needs a generation to come around to support it. Calls the man shahoya harab tzvas. This is according to the Marchel. Calls choya bedoru shal harab ZOHAR. There was in his time. Shahoya yodeyat besodas haTorah. There were a lot of people that knew the sodas of Torah. V'hoya roy shachador magim alov, and was fit as a result of that generation would protect the Ari, and in the midst of that he could do what he did. Or wrote right as he did, or what's the right way to say that? Od Sham also, now that's something that we got from the same source as Shemati b'Demshech. I heard in Demshech. Sheshalo lohar chulzal. How do you pronounce Demshech? Do you pronounce it Demashech? Anyway, you still there, Rebbe? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm never sure about that. Let me go on. So he says, Lama omrim birchos halavona b'motzei Tisha B'av. Why do we say a blessing on the moon? Now this goes back to what he said before in that kina, that he said, why is the moon going dark? I'm not sure what the meaning of that, all these ideas are, but trying to put them together. Omrim birchos halavona b'motzei Tisha B'av. Why do we do that? Beheshi the boss of the lavona of the Yisrael. This is an announce to the. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the word was domestic.
Domestic, yeah. I know there's a better, I always do the short version. Okay, domestic, yeah. Domestic Elazar. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So when the Torah, so let's go back just to this little statement here. The question was, why do we say Birchos Halavona immediately after Tisha B'av? So he said, when the Bais was destroyed, it's going to come back again, just like the moon comes back, keeps going and coming back. We will have a renewal. And this is, I guess, what they're announcing at that time. And now it comes over here and he says like this. I think I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'll just keep going anyway. But Tisha B'av, that where the Mashiach was born, v'gam ki b'Tisha B'av noted Mashiach b'Tisha B'av v'ein lomer birchos she'asa litzkar tzarki. We don't say that. Why? She'as asura makol b'ne'ilas asandal. Okay, so therefore we don't say that. I don't know if there's that halacha or not. I don't know. We don't put on the sandal, but is it that we don't say birchos she'asa litzkar tzarki? Because we don't. We need shoes. I guess is what he said. Od sham. So now he's still quoting from that same place. This represents the Zeranpin side of the world, or it's the Vok of Zah. There's 6 months. And that's the Vok of Zah. Now, this particular, what this means, I don't know what this means, because, you have in what's it called, the Sefer, always forget the name, the oldest of all Sefer Sfarim. Okay, anyway, so you have they call them Olam Shana Nefesh. They have that concept over there. So this is the Zeranpin, he says the concept of Shana. Ba'adar Kula Yisod. So if you count them down, so you got from Chesed down to Yisod. Ba'achar kach heim Chodesh Malchus, but then the months of Malchus begin. And then heim Vok ben Nisan, the Vok, the 6 months of Nisan, at Tishrei. Nimsaki Chodesh Av hu Hod Shalom. Chodesh Av is its Hod. V'cheim Sham Necherev Abayas, because so therefore that is when the destruction took place. Why? Besod Kol Hayom Dava. Dava means punishment, pain. So let's see what he said. V'zecha Besod Hodi Nafach Alai Lamashchis. So I guess my glory, it turned on me to complete destruction, because in the difference, like we had in that concept of Ritzei, when we say Ritzei, I'm trying to remember to say Ritzei, and have a kavanah there of turning the tsar around using these names. At any rate, he says, Chod nefach alai lamashkis l'chein amrach b'zohar shekal ha'ochel b'tisha b'av. He the ochel gid hanosha is he's eating the gid hanosha. V'nirmaz as al-kain lo ya'achol b'nei Yisrael as gid hanosha is threw that in. Roshi Tevos, he says, if you see the Roshi Tevos are come out to be the word, the Roshi Tevos are Tisha and Av. Now, which S? Gid Hanosha? I don't know exactly which one he's talking about, which Roshi Tevos he's talking about. Ochel Gid, I don't have it. Ein Sham. But this is contained in the Rai Mehemna, V'huki Halo Yudato, Ki Hayarek Trasoleya Yaakov Hu HaHod, because, that's the Hod. The Hod. So maybe we can go back and just look at that. So going back to the previous column, he said, Ki Chodesh Av at the very bottom, Hu Hod Shalom. So the Chodesh Av is Hod. Okay, according to that counting system. V'chein sham necher v'bayis. So therefore we see that's where the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. V'sod called the Yom Dov v'zel v'sod Hodi nehefach alai l'mashkes. Now Hodi here wants to say, possibly means that the left leg, or the leg. L'chein amra b'zoyer shekol ha'oichel b'tesha b'av ki'ila oichel gida nashe, because that is in fact the hod, that is the leg. The nibas as al kain lo ya'achol b'nei adam as gid hanashe, therefore people should not eat the gid hanashe. Rosh tables, Tisha and Av. Ein Sham B'Rai Mehemna, so apparently the ZOHAR on that. V'hu ki halo yadatu. Ki hayarek sholea Yaakov, that limping leg of Yaakov, who hahod is his hod. That's where the destruction takes place. Okay, let me go back to where we were supposed to be reading in the Rav. So number bet, he said, "V'ala'inin yuvan b'masha darsha b'gemora al pasuk mizmor lo'asef elokim bo goyim." So that of course, the elokim, the goyim are still there. So v'hikshu. So he asks this kasha, mizbor kina miboyalei. So a mizmor, you threw a mizbor in here, mizmor lo'asef. This is a place where you should be doing kinos. And he answers on this. It's all a little bit difficult here for me, but I'll do the best I can. Let me see if I can get it. He says, "Ki b'dechida hiskila ha'oivim laharog as b'nei Yisrael." First, they started butchering us. V'oz chash v'yisvel shelo yihya heim chas v'shalom tukumba levifaltim. They would never be able to get up from their fall. With the sword of the enemy, they would make a complete end to us. But then the fire really started burning the Eis Erev Shuhu Zaman Mincha. In other words, as the Slalei Erev began to fall. Oz Amra Mizmor. Then they said a Mizmor. Why would they do that? The Simcha of the Samchus Simcha Gedola v'Kibla Nechama, and they got a certain amount of comfort from that. Ki'im Chas v'Sholom Lo Habarei Kodesh Baruch Hu Mashlik Hamasol Ala Eitzim v'Chalabonim Lo Choset Tekuna the Sinoi Yisrael. They would never be able to get up, and I guess it means the Sinoi Yisrael would complete their job. V'Moshe Amra Zacha B'Chal the Pasuk Kala Hashem es Hamaso, that he took out, or he made, it came to an end, that tremendous anger rather. V'yatzas eish b'tzion, and then the fire took over. So, we know it from other places, the word Sion actually has a deeper meaning as well, because it refers to the Malchus, I think, the Malchus of Malchus. The Nimsike the Eis Minchas Erev Shetzitzo eish behechel. So at that time, when this fire started, Az Amr Yisrael v'Mizbel v'Kibloch Nechamach v'Chatzarasam, and they got comfort from their pain. Im came haminchag hanizgar ku tov v'nachon. So therefore, the minchag is correct. So now he brings us a little bit here, and then there's another piece coming up, which we'll see in the chef. Oh, it goes a little bit. Al pi ma shehikshur v'zal. Al pasuk mizmor lo'asaf, the havi leil the member kina. He should have said a kina instead of this mizmor. But tirtzach of the al yadesha nitras abayis. Choysa dechem nechama the Yisrael. B'masha kodesh baruch hu shafak hamasal ala eitzim, that he threw his anger on all of the wood instead of eitzim v'avonim, and also on the stones. V'locha v'yachlo savi v'yoli kalam, and he didn't destroy us. So there's a mizmor said on that. So this is the reason why we have this. It's not, in other words, we look at it as is a less degree of burning, or what's the right word, of pain. The pain lessened because they stopped butchering us. There would be none of us left. So now So now going over here, this is really the end of it, but it has this piece down below which I worked on translating. You probably know it. I think I've seen it before, but I don't know where it is. He doesn't give a site reference, except I don't have the book. Here's another reason. So this is a concept again of the Choma. So he says that the Menachem here, okay, the Comforter one, whatever it is, I mean, so I don't have that measure, so you need to bring it down below. Oh, Tam Lin Hog Benachamba Be'ez Lefidus and Mincha, Hu Lefisha Be'ez Hazois Noided Mashiach Kede'isi Be'midrash, Ba'alzecha Be'anacha Be'marim Nechoma, so they were able to see in the Choma there. Shebekavim, because then there's the same kind of metaphor that I was using before about why we say the bracha over the moon as soon as it's done, because it's a concept that, you know what, there is a renewal. There's tremendous darkness, but there's light too. That we're really hoping for that. Amen. So we have just 4 minutes, but we'll try to start this. Down here on number we have first of all number bet down below. Number bet says V'samchu simcha gadola. He writes on this a hiddishu. So that you see over here in the Rav, but you don't see it in the Gemara. That they actually did it. Now here's a little start of a little story that's difficult. A couple of words here I don't think I got too good. But Kaniska Medrash, and then he brings us this Medrash Eko Rabsi. The Zechab Lashon Medrash Sham, he says, Uvda Hava Bechad Bar Nash, the Havik called Radis. A man was plowing, Jewish man. Goyes Chada HaTorah says, so one of his oxen brayed, or whatever they do, made noise. So an Arab came by. So why? Because somebody came. It was an Arab. So he says, well, who are you, or what are you? I'm a Jew, Anna. He says, so let loose of your donkey, your ox, and also the all of the ox, or all the plow, so on and so forth. Amale lama, amale the Beis Mikdashka the Yudoi Chorod, because he says the Beis Mikdash is destroyed. Amale mana Yadat, how do you know that? Amale Yedis min Geisa de Sorach. I know from, I think he's saying from the sound that your ox is making. Does that sound right to you? I don't know.
Yeah.
Made another noise. So I guess he means abandon them. That's what I think. I'm not sure what aser means, but aser means maybe tie it back on. I think that's probably what it means, to tie. Padnach. The Isyadid Perikachon the Yehudoi, the Savior of the Jewish people, has been born. What's his name? What's his name? Shemei. So these names. This is all on your watcher, because you're Rosh Chodesh. Here it comes. So whether they live, I don't know, in a palace, in the desert, I don't know if that's what he means. B'deveis lechem Yehuda, so Beis Lechem. Zavin aku gavrech Toroi, Zavin Padne. He sold everything he had. Whose masvin the binding the yonking, and he bought blankets, the yonking, children's blankets. All of the cart of enough of the karkin went in one city, came out another. Came out. All of the Medina, he went into one country. Nafik the Medina, and he went out from that country. In other words, he traveled on. At the mouth of the summer until, I guess, he came to Beit Lechem. Asian called Kafrech of the Kafriyim Zavinle. So all of the people from the city came and they bought from him. This is very hard to understand what he's trying to say. Vahaki Idasi, he made the Hava Yunukul, so there was a woman there who had a little baby. Lo Zamtamine, she didn't buy from him. So he says, Amalah. So he said to her, Lama lis at zavanta levidin the yunking. Why aren't you buying blankets for the baby? Now, I'm not sure what it means. I'm thinking, I looked up this word, chashia, I tried. I couldn't find it. Chashia, I think, maybe means chash, like in Hebrew, like it means worried, the kashui, that it's bad for the baby.
Yeah.
That's the best I could do. So he said, well, why? What would be bad? Because of him, the base of Mikdash was destroyed. So he said, wait a minute. I have trust. With the master of the universe, that's maybe true. I don't know what the meaning would be, that through him it was destroyed. Is that what it means? Because you had to get back, huh?
I think just at his time. Al-Raglai means at the same time.
Okay. So
it means at that time.
Okay, so let's try it that way. So al ragloy at his time, charav al, in other words, at the same time. But my question was really, okay, so you say it means at that same time. It's not.
Actually, he's going to say build. I mean, like through him.
Both happen.
Maybe he felt like the same mazel, because he says through him it'll be destroyed and through him it'll be rebuilt.
Right. So, but what's pshat and through him it would be destroyed?
Maybe it was like a bad mazel. Maybe he brought bad mazel to the world, he thinks?
My explanation, my thought would be that the Mashiach represents Malchus of Malchus. And that if it wasn't for the fact that everything is corrupt coming into Malchus, so Malchus then, becomes destroyed. But it's still essence, I guess. It's okay, something like that I'm thinking. Okay, let's go on. So so he took said, no, you take some of this. So afterward, sometime later, I'll come and I'll see, I'll come to your house and I'll see, and you'll pay me. So he took whatever she took, and she went on her way. The boss of Yomim, Amahai Gabras, and he says, Ezil v'ich hai yunuka maika avi. Now let me go see what's going on with this kid, with this boy. Also the Gabas, so he came to her. Amah the hachu yunuka b'beka avi. Lo amrit loch the chayshid the kashi of, didn't I tell you that this is a hard phrase for me. The chashia kashi that I told you, these blankets are very hard. Afilu al ragli nachshi. I can't translate that. I don't know how to translate this. So but at any rate, she told him that, what, I don't know what she told him. The min aku shata asin ruchim v'alul ununim v'ozlen loin. So until at that moment, or the min haku moment, for the time, I don't know, that I got back with these rags. Oh, I guess she was saying that they caused trouble. I think that's what she said. The min haku shata asin ruchim v'aluloyin. I looked up this word aluloyin, I couldn't find it, but I guess it goes with ruchim. Different kind of spiritual. Ta'anune v'azaloin, and they went off with him. I'm not sure if that's what that means. Amalal, he said to her, V'lo kach amris loch, didn't they say to you, the al raglich acharav al raglim misbini, that at the same time that they will, you're translating ragli as like Lashon regel, like that, something like, yeah. But I still think I also like my other thought about it. It's harder to make shot. That the same thing happens at the rebuilding when Malchus sheds all of the schmutz and everything is destroyed. But that's what I was trying to say. You have now the pure Malchus. So why do we have to learn this from a goy? But don't we have we have a complete pasuk, ba'adir yipol. So I guess the Levonim, the great tree or the great mountain, in its glory will fall. I guess that's again the idea of the cycle. It's very interesting how Tisha B'Av, nobody really pays attention to Jewish astrology, but the fact is that you see it so strongly, how the cycles make such a tremendous difference, and how Yaakov Cronenberg wrote, extensively about the 2 months, the months of Tammuz and Av, about how it is that the Yud Kei Vav Kei is manifest in those two names at those 2 months of the year. V'ksiv Basra is written after the V'yotza Cheter Begeze. So I guess a Cheter is a savior or mighty man from the Geza of Yishai, from the family of Yishai or something like that. V'natzer Mishrashav Yifrach, and then V'netzer Mishrashav, I guess, sprouts from his roots, from that stump. Oh, that's the Geza is the stump. V'cheter Megezi Yishai, V'natzer Mishrashav Yifrach, Yifare. So I guess the Savior from us, from its root, will sprout out and spread. That's the Medrash. As best I could do. Thanks, Rebbe. Thanks a lot for working that with me. Kol Tov.